Hi, today is September 7th, 2012, Friday, 6:20 p.m. I want to talk about the word conviction. I don't think a lot of people know what that means. Conviction. What does it mean to be if you have a conviction in something? You have a firm belief. It's not simply I you enjoy a type of a food and you have conviction in that food. No, this is a great word. This is a very powerful word, and if you ever um, basically, I've been thinking about a lot of different things, and at some point there was a gap in in my time when I was making videos, and I spoke to a friend about it. He asked me, why wasn't I doing anything? Uh, at the time, I didn't have any confidence, but most importantly, I didn't feel like I had any conviction, because prior to that, I I felt or believed that I needed to do something like that, and I had conviction. That's what it means to have conviction. And I want to give you an example of another person in history that had conviction. His name was Martin Luther King, and he died, Martin Luther King Jr., and he died with the convictions that he had. He had this very powerful speech, and there was a video where I ended up reading this entire Citizen's Almanac, which I found out, by the way, cost $8 from the website that I ended up getting from. I got the 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 U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services ended up emailing me and gave me a link to the website that produces these booklets, and they cost $8 each. So it's not going to be reasonable that I would be that I wanted to give out some of these booklets to some of the citizens. I, in my mind, I was thinking at least 50,000, and if I do the math, that comes out to $400,000. That's a lot of money. It's unrealistic. I would be able to raise that much money. Even though, if you look at, if you examine the presidential elections and the governor elections, how much money they actually get, and what is it that they spend the money on? They spend the money on scientifically engineered 30-second, 20-second TV commercials that are designed to trigger emotional responses in your brain based on their statistical poll data numbers of what they think people want or feel like they need. Okay. So back to convictions. This is an excerpt of the speech, which means that it's a part of the speech. It was taken out. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out to the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, this of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing, land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jew, Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Every time I read this, I get chills, and maybe some people that happens too, but this is a very powerful, at the time, it still is today, this is a very powerful speech that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Gave. Uh, that's conviction. You can say that this person had conviction. I just wanted to give it. I wanted this to be like a educational tidbit on the word conviction, because that's not something that occurs or people, I think, today come across. Maybe people with other convictions, or just knowing about that there's people that held convictions um, in our history. And at least in the United States. I'm sure people held convictions in the Russian system, but they might have been overshadowed. I mean, this is the black man in the United States didn't just all of a sudden wake up to all these rights. They had to work for it. They had to bleed and die and be tortured. Um, this was a very big movement in the United States, and I feel today it's been neglected. What happened was, I feel, is when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, somebody needed to step up to the plate and take over and finish his work. I don't feel the Negroes, the black man in the United States, has is on par, I guess, with the white man. I mean, just examining the situation in New Jersey, we have a few cities, Newark, Jersey City, Camden, some other cities, where every day you can Google this, you can go on the news, maybe they show it on the TV news or on the internet news. Every day you have a black man that kills another black man. You don't have that happening anywhere else, where every day in some particular white city you have a white man killing another white man. Every day, every day, every day. And I mean, just examine the prison population in the United States. The majority of the prisoners are black. Why is it that? Because they've been neglected by society, that they had to resort to criminal. I feel they had to resort, or they were neglected. They were not taught. They were not educated, and unfortunately, the reality is they themselves had to do that for themselves. They needed to unite and better themselves. If the white man neglected them for so long, why is it that they wait for this white man to one day help them somehow? They need to help themselves by collectively as a group. I mean, you need to have black people who are going to be reaching out to all of these black kids that are part of these gangs, selling drugs, all that nonsense. They need to be reaching out to these young kids or young adults or adults and teaching them this, taking their hand and going, what are you doing? You're a black man. Reading them the speech, telling them about this particular black man and what he did with his life. That's what needs to be done in regards to, I think, the black man in the United States. Yeah, I mean, you could say a lot has been done, yes, but it's not enough, unfortunately. If the United States of America is regarded as the greatest country in the world, or the greatest government in the world, and it's not enough. Fortunately, it's just try harder. You're allowed to tell that. You're supposed to tell that to the government. Try harder, work harder. You demand things from the government. That's how the government works to help the people. And so the government's purpose is for the benefit of the people, for and by the people. So that's that. Hopefully it was educational.